Hey, welcome back to Evil's Comics. I'm Evil Mike, and I have another review for you. From Image Comics, this is The Dead Lucky, issue number 1. It is written by Melissa Flores, art by French Carlomagno, colors by Mattia, Iacono, and then letters by Becca, Carey. I know I mispronounced some of those names. I apologize. I always try and do my best, but those were a little new for me. This issue was pretty good. I didn't know what to expect. I was kind of getting like a Power Ranger kind of vibe from it, but it's not really what it is. But so let's get into it. They start off, and it's our main character, and she has I think her name is like Bibiana, but we're just gonna go with Bibi. That's what they call her in the during the book. They start out, and she's having a dream. She's going through a therapy session. We find out she is an ex-soldier who was discharged honorably, I think. But basically, she's doing these therapy sessions. She mentions that she's in this dream, and she's trying to save her friends, and that's kind of all we get. In the therapy session, we don't get a lot between the therapist and Bibi. A lot of quick one answer, one liners kind of thing. But one thing is expressed, like that at one point she starts talking to herself, and the psychiatrist thinks she's talking to her. She does realize that she's talking to herself, and she wants Bibi to elaborate on that part. The rest of the book is set up as if we're sitting with Bibi and the psychiatrist going through her talking in the third person. Even though there is visuals, like right here, it's all Bibi like still in the psychiatry office talking to the therapist. Or that's kind of what I got from it. You can take it either or, because it kind of starts in present day. It's in San Francisco. It starts out in like one district, but eventually it does go to the financial district. We do find out that this Salvation Gang, because it is set in the future, but we find out that this Salvation Gang is kind of like monitoring the outskirts of the city. We do see, and it's on the back cover right here, Morrow. It's like Morrow Industries or something like that. It's kind of like it kind of reminds me of like a RoboCop situation. It's like a company that is teamed up with the police. They have like, supposedly in San Francisco, San Francisco took a leap, and they are the first city in America that started using cybernetics and robotics and stuff like that, as far as in their everyday lives and stuff like that. So San Francisco in this future is like way far like futuristic compared to the rest of America. But it's all being like controlled, monitored, by this company Morrow. We do set up the scene right here, and it looks like, I think it's like a restaurant, but it's like these shop owners and these cops are actually coming to these shop owners, and they're trying to collect like collection fees for the Morrow company, and they're basically telling them, hey, look, we've got these like security bots that are like patrolling this area, and they show the security bots right here, that they're patrolling this certain district in San Francisco, and they're about to leave. Once they leave, if they're not under protection, basically the Salvation Gang is going to come through and mess up the city once Morrow leaves, and they're about to leave. The shop owners eventually, they kind of state that they were there before Morrow, they didn't have any problems, they'll be there after, kind of thing. And the cops do express that they won't be able to help them anymore because they're kind of run through Morrow or something like that, so they'll be at their own discretion. We do meet another character right here, and he's shown right where I'm pointing, but he's just mentioned as the ex to Bibi. But basically he's kind of like the tech guy, and we find out that he's been working on this like robotic suit. They've been preparing for Morrow to leave this district, and they're ready to kind of help protect it from the Salvation Gang. They do show that the security bots from Morrow eventually leave, even before the cops knew they were going to leave, kind of thing. And then as soon as the security forces leaves, we do see like explosions and stuff, and sure enough the Salvation Gang shows up. Of course, the police, they're not being backed by anything. The citizens, they're all, running, and everybody's being terrorized, and all of a sudden, BB shows up in the robot that her ex was like helping build, but it's kind of expressed that she powers it, and we'll get there in a second. But BB is driving it, and they show like the word bubbles coming from the cockpit, and the robot is called Ghost, and supposedly the way she talks, like it can talk, because she mentioned sometimes that Ghost laughs at her and stuff like that. That's a little like weird on that part of the story. I don't know if it's her being crazy, because they do mention several times during the book that while she was a soldier, that the military did experiment on her, making her like, what we would deem crazy. That's why she's talking in the third person like the whole story, because she's talking to us. But there are times where she interacts with other characters, and they're like, who are you talking to? Oh yeah, they mentioned that you talk to yourself, the military made you crazy. They kind of do mention also that within those military like projects or whatever, that she might have got powers as well, and we kind of see that because she starts fighting the Salvation Gang, and at first she's whooping ass. She does like a kind of a Hulk smash type move. She ends up like electrocuting this other guy. That's kind of where we see the electrical powers, and then I think that's the powers that she has, because they mentioned that she was powering up the suit. And we do see that one of the Salvation Gang guys, he shoots a rocket launcher, and it does knock over Ghost and kind of temporarily incapacitates the robot. And we see like BB come out of the robot all electrified and flying, and she basically, like, using her electrical powers, brings Ghost back online and then hops back in the robot suit, and eventually, like, pushes the rest of the gang out of the city. They find out, they thought that she was with Morrow, and they do find out that she's not with Morrow. And they kind of like mention that she could be like possibly somebody that could join the Salvation Gang, because evidently they're fighting Morrow, just in a different, more destructive type of way. There is a scene right here where one of her friends, I think his name is Eddie, where after the whole incident she hops out of Ghost, she's still charged, and this guy runs up to her and touches her, and he basically gets electrocuted and knocks out. They go into the hospital where basically BB's, worried about her friend, and she's staying by him and stuff. I think his wife eventually shows up, and BB still stays there while Eddie is recovering, this kind of thing. Eventually she does leave the hospital, and she goes back to the garage where her ex works, and she finds a note saying something about that he ate her tacos, but he left something instead, and he will always like help her out. And that's where we get to see the first sign of her suit that was on the first cover. I don't know, I mean, they do show her in the dream wearing that. I don't know if this is like the present he left her, or maybe she's having flashbacks or something, because they do show the same suit in the very beginning. I'm not positive right there, because it's a little fuzzy. It just jumps from one scene to another. It shows a note, and the note says like, hey, I always have your back. She kind of like, now it could be something like this, because they do show she's been clicking on her dog tags. It's something that I haven't mentioned. It's small, but right here they find like throughout the comic, when she clicks on them, she's just like tapping on them. But she does like tap on them right here, and they do kind of like highlight in kind of a neon color. So it might be a thing where like she taps on it, and all of a sudden the suit comes out of her dog tags or something like that. But for a first issue, it was amazing. It was really good. I didn't know what to expect. I kind of thought it was going to be some Power Ranger stuff, which I'm not against, but it wasn't that at all. Actually, I kind of don't know how it's going to go. Like I said, it kind of has a RoboCop feel with the whole Morrow and the cop situation. But, I mean, they're leaving town, so it kind of seems like, it's going to be BB protecting the town from who knows what. And they did mention that it's not just the Salvation Gang out there. That there's other stuff out there. I don't know. But for her first issue, it was really good. I love the setup of the Morrow Company. I love the suit, and the fact that we're getting to learn that she has powers. I don't know. I love the art and the pacing. It was really well. That's my review. Let me know down below what you thought. Did you pass this one up? Did you pick it up? You know, what did you think about the first issue if you read it? You know, let me know. Well, that's all I got for you. Like, comment, subscribe. You know, that same mumbo jumbo. I'll see y'all later. Bye.